Michelin-starred chef, restaurateur, author, culinary entrepreneur Curtis Stone wants to get us all into the kitchen. We're so happy to welcome Curtis Stone, who's now a judge on Fox's Crime Scene Kitchen and a guest judge on Masterchef Legends, to Mornings on 2. Good morning, Curtis.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I have to say I've spent more time in the kitchen in the past year plus than ever before. I've always been a big home cook, and so I'm leaning on you to help me find something new. My kids tell me, Mom, I'm sick of just about everything you've made.
Look, the thing is, we've all been cooking more than ever before, which to me is wonderful, because what starts with a home-cooked meal is appreciation, consideration, cooperation. It's all those family values that we all strive for and want for. But I get it. It can be a bit of a pain in the neck if the inspiration doesn't flow. My advice is just start with an ingredient. It doesn't matter what that ingredient is. You can pick a vegetable. It could be a piece of fish or a chicken thigh. And then once you sort of have that ingredient in your mind, something you can access easily, then start thinking about the flavors that you want to eat with that one ingredient. And before you know it, you'll have a dish planned out in your head, and then it'll actually become quite simple and easy.
You know, when I think about Crime Scene Kitchen, it reminds me that over the past year, home cooks have become so inventive, right? The recipe calls for buttermilk. Maybe I have yogurt. Maybe I have sour cream. Maybe I have some, getting close to rancid milk sitting around. Do you really think that Crime Scene Kitchen can help all of us home cooks be a little more creative in the kitchen?
Look, I think what it does is it sparks that sort of idea of what was possible, right? Because the contestants have to walk into the crime scene kitchen, they have to look around at a bunch of clues and then interpret them into what was made in that kitchen. So some people might guess an Italian wedding cake, other people might guess a cream cake or a hummingbird cake. And then they have to go back and actually cook that dish, and they don't know whether they're guessing right or wrong. So it's a really fun show to watch, because you're trying to just figure out, you're guessing along the way and trying to figure out whether people did accurately guess what they were supposed to bake, and then we watch the fruits of their labor come together and see whether it was something delicious or not. So it is really fun, and I do think it makes you kind of think, oh, what would I do? How would have I read that clue? There was chocolate in the sink. What could that mean? It's actually really cool.
What I love in hearing from you and other chefs is that you're one person when you're in the restaurant or on TV, right? But when it's you and your family at home, you're a different kind of a cook. How would you say your style in the kitchen compares to what we get to usually see on screen?
Oh, look, it's very simple. I think when you're cooking at home, you should keep it simple, because the important part about a home-cooked meal is everything it creates. It's that beautiful conversation that you sit down with your family and have. You turn the television off for a minute. You actually sit down and communicate with each other in a really meaningful way. So you don't want to be chained to the kitchen. You want to do something pretty achievable. So I always think that sort of farm-to-table cooking is best at home. I'm lucky I have a beautiful vegetable garden, but you can go to a nice grocery store, pick up a couple of great ingredients, treat them very simply, and then sit down and enjoy it.
Do your children join you in the kitchen? I know they can't quite cook at, like, say, the MasterChef level, but do you have your little ones in there with you?
Look, I do. My 9-year-old Hudson, he's a great cook. He loves food. He loves being around it. He loves getting involved. He makes a killer chimichurri sauce for whenever I grill a steak. My little guy Emerson, though, I thought I had it all figured out with my first. Emerson's a challenge. Unless it's fried or it's white, he doesn't want to eat it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I never thought I'd have a kid that won't try new things. But yeah, he's challenging me. So, but I do think it's important to show your kids where food comes from, whether that's growing a little bit or taking them out to a farm. So the more they understand, I think the more they appreciate, for sure.
And I think that last word you used, just appreciation for the fact that there's food in the fridge. We have healthy bodies at home. It's just the theme of this past year plus for me. Curtis Stone, it's always a joy to connect with you. Thank you.
So good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. We'll all see Curtis Stone Wednesday night coming up on KTVU Fox 2. That night kicks off at 8 o'clock with MasterChef Legends, followed by Crime Scene Kitchen at 9 o'clock. Then do stick around for all the night's news and weather on the 10 and 11 o'clock newscast.